What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Tyrone Bowman Live. Today, I'm going to talk about a topic, and I'm quite sure those of you, when you get a notification, you see the topic. The topic is entitled Trump's Vicious Campaign of Racism, Bigotry, and Hate Against VP Kamala Harris. Before I get to what Trump was talking about down in Georgia on yesterday, I'm going to start by saying this. It is clearly evident, it is factual that Vice President Kamala Harris has what it takes to become the next president of the United States. Without a doubt, she has already secured enough votes for the nomination, and I think in a few weeks, the Democrats will be having their convention. Also, VP Harris will be in Philadelphia on this coming Tuesday to announce the person that will be running with her. And why do I call it a vicious campaign of racism, bigotry, and hate? Because that's what it is. Trump has nothing to talk about except bitterness. And this is coming from a man who lost an election and he's still lying about it, still crying about it, still whining about it across the nation. He lost the election to the current president, Joe Biden, in 2020. So what did he do? Instead of him gracefully accepting the defeat, he incited an insurrection. It was real. They weren't patriots. They were thugs. They were hooligans. They were totally out of control because had that been a bunch of black people who did the same thing, we'd have been called every ungodly name under the sun, and you know it. So the only thing that he can do with his choice of a VP, Vance, because they're one and the same. And if you don't say what he wants you to say and do the things that he wants you to do, then you can't be a part of his team. So what does he do? He parades a lot of black people, and he makes sure that they're seen on camera. They're put down in front where they can be seen. Also, now that he has black women to do his dirty work, to attack Kamala Harris. You can attack her all you want. That's why he cowardly backed out of the upcoming debate that was supposed to take place in September. You know why he doesn't want to debate her? Because he can't. Because he will be destroyed. He will be demolished if he comes up against Kamala Harris on stage in a debate. Kamala Harris will rip him to shreds, and he knows it. So, what does he do? He wants to constantly try to define her. Kamala Harris does not need defining. She's a proud black woman, period. Enough said. But we can define him. He's a racist. He's a bigot. He's always hated black people. It doesn't matter if he dealt with selective black people when it comes to business. That's called money. But deep down on the inside, he's a vitriolic racist. This is who he really is. He doesn't want to talk about who he is, but I'm going to talk about it. Let's talk about the Central Park Five. 4 black men and 1 Latino man who were falsely accused of raping a white woman in Central Park. Those young men were beaten unmercifully and spent years in prison, some of them about 13 years, beaten unmercifully by racist police officers until they beat confessions out of them. Then, when they were able to secure the type of monies that they needed to get the proper attorneys to represent them, their constitutional rights were violated. Their Miranda rights were violated. The forced confessions had to be overturned. The verdicts were overturned. Nearly $50 million was spent by New York City toward these young men. And what did Trump do? He took out a full-page ad at the cost of $1 million, demanding that they bring back the death penalty. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, very clearly. A lot of white folk are uncomfortable when we start talking about the things that have happened here in America, but these are historical facts. Emmett Till was murdered, butchered, and killed down in Money, Mississippi, because a white woman, Bryant, who's now deceased, lied and said that he attempted to rape her. Money, Mississippi today is nothing but a curse. If you look it up, the store, it's nothing but shreds of what it once was. I was looking at some of the photos this past week of what happened down in Money, Mississippi, and at the trial, and she was laughing with her friends and knowing that they were going to be acquitted. And after they were acquitted, they said, yes, we murdered him. Emmett Till was viciously murdered. The brave men and women who were the civil rights workers and who crisscrossed across this country with the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. during the civil rights era. And they don't like to talk about Dr. King because they have to talk about the assassination. Dr. King was assassinated. He didn't lay down his life. He was assassinated on the balcony of a hotel at the Lorraine Hotel down in Memphis. That's a historical fact. The only thing that Trump can do, because he despises women deep down the inside of his heart, and he definitely doesn't want to see a black woman become president of the United States. He detests it in his heart because he doesn't want to be defeated by her, but she's going to win. Oh, it's going to be a hard-fought battle, but Kamala Harris is going to make history. She's going to be the first woman, and she's going to be the first, you can call a biracial woman or black woman, who's going to be the president of the United States of America. You even have Republicans who are disgusted with his antics. Every time this man takes the stage, it's nothing but bitterness, hate. Then you have Hulk Hogan. He's made his decision. Mr. I'm a real American, Hulkamania and all that BS and crap. I fight for the rights of every man. No, he doesn't. Terry Bollea, aka Hulk Hogan, he's made his decision. He's aligned himself with the bigots and the racists. Okay, we know where he stands because we know who he is. He's a racist and he's a bigot as well. He fired the black woman because he didn't want a black woman promoting his American beer. And then he lied about it. He repeatedly used the N-word to the extent in a recording that Vince McMahon had to fire him in 2015 because it was bad for business. So since Hulk Hogan, you don't like us, we don't like you. Point blank. Brother, we're not going to beg you. You don't represent us. You don't speak for us. So you've aligned yourself with the Trump campaign. Align yourself with the Trump campaign. But know this much. Black people have no respect for you. Don't give us that BS that some of your best friends are black and you've teamed up with black wrestlers. That's just making money. That's all that's about. It's business. So we don't like you. And I'm going to have a whole lot to say about him in the coming days ahead. I'm just waiting for him to travel with Trump, and I'm waiting for him to get that flag and rip the shirt off them or rip him to shreds. It's all fair game now. Now let's get back to Trump with his vicious campaign of racism, bigotry, and hate. That's all he has in his arsenal. He's bitter. First of all, we don't want another old white man, a 70-year-old white man, to be president of the United States of America. Remember when they kept making a mountain about President Biden's age, his acuity, his cognitive abilities? He's too old to be president. Well, Trump is too old to be president. Trump is 78 years old. If he were the president of the United States, he would be 80-something when he left office. And I really think he has early stages of dementia personally, because I've been around people who have dementia. And I know how they think, how they talk, and how they operate. And just because you get a bunch of black people and parade them in your all-white campaign rallies where you got a handful of black people at, and you think that you're going to turn us against us, how about this? Since his supporters don't care what he says, how he says it, the way he says it, they don't care nothing about his past, they don't care nothing about the convictions that he has. Well, we don't care about Kamala Harris's past. How about that? I don't care about her record when she was out in California. I don't care about the fact that she's made mistakes like anybody else. What about the men who have been presidents of this nation? Many of them were slave owners, they were racists, they were bigots. Many of them did seedy things inside the White House, inside the Oval Office. And now you think we're going to turn against a black woman? No, we're not. The more y'all attack her, the more you come up against her, the more you call her out of her name, the harder we're going to fight for her, the more we're going to defend her, the more we're going to stand by her, because we're not going to allow you to destroy this beautiful sister. You can come up with all the adjectives and all the garbage and verbiage that your campaign can possibly bring up. And believe me, there's a lot of stuff out about Trump that I'm going to be putting on my program as well. So since you want to go in the past, we're going to go in his past, and we get all the footage I can find on the insurrection, and I'm going to put it on Tyrone Bowman Live to let you all know that a vote for Trump is a vote for racism. A vote for Trump is a vote for bigotry. A vote for Trump is a vote for Jim Crow. A vote for Trump is a vote for segregation. A vote for Trump is a vote for slavery. Yes, I said it. So while you all are out there singing all those songs and parading across the stage, look at all the black politicians who decided to support him. Where did it get y'all? He was never going to choose a black person to be his running mate. Senator Tim Scott betrayed your own people over and over and over again. Even Herschel Walker had enough sense not to support him and endorse him. I'm an independent registered voter, and he is not giving me one scintilla of a reason why I should vote for him. He can't talk on the issues, and don't forget, he has a track record as a president. It's all up for fair game. I'm a pre-law student. I've studied the Constitution. I'm continuing to study it. I'm on my way to becoming a criminal defense attorney. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? You got to learn your rights in this nation and in this country. And you can't be afraid to speak up for your people. I come from a long line of proud black people in this nation, from Dr. King to Ralph Abernathy to Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune, to all the great heroes and heroines of the civil rights movement. People like Reverend Jesse L. Jackson, whose health has declined and he's now in a wheelchair. Don't forget about the contributions that Reverend Jackson made when he was a lone voice standing up for us during the 70s and during the 80s. Never forget the good that these people have done. Never forget people like Mahalia Jackson and those who came before us and paid the price for us. It wouldn't be possible for us to do a lot of things that we're doing if it had not been for the civil rights movement. Don't forget President Lyndon Baines Johnson and the things that he did during his administration. So while down in Georgia on yesterday, Trump continued his attacks on Harris. Let me read something from the Hill here. Let's talk about it. This is coming from the Hill, quote, former President Trump went on the attack against Vice President Harris at a campaign rally in Atlanta Saturday. After Harris campaigned at the same venue earlier this week, we have to work hard to define her. No, you don't. No, you don't get to define this black woman. You don't get to tell us who she is. We're going to define who he is because we know who he is, and we're going to continue to remind people as to who he is. Trump said, speaking to supporters at Georgia State University. The former president then appeared to be backtracking, saying, I don't want to even define her. She could care less about you. I want to say who she is. She's a horror show, he added. She'll destroy our country. Well, let's talk about who he is. Isn't he the same man who brought up the birther issue about President Barack Obama? He's the one who said he wasn't an American. He's the one who said he wasn't a citizen. He's the one who demanded that he show his birth certificate. Well, what about his birth certificate? How do we know he's an American? What about his family heritage? I do know they're from Germany. And I used to really admire Mr. Trump. I read all the books, I believe all that garbage in those books, then until I found out that he had a ghostwriter. He didn't even write the books himself. Kamala Harris has educationally, academically excelled. And she's going to continue to soar. And we're going to continue to support her. And we're going to make sure that she becomes president of the United States of America. Someone asked me, well, what is she going to do for us? What are you going to do for yourself? She's going to do what every other president has done. They take an oath. What is that oath? The oath is simple. They solemnly swear to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. That is the oath that judges take. That is the oath that lawyers take. That is the oath that the president and the vice president takes. Stop being afraid to stand up. Stop being afraid to voice your opinion. Stop being afraid to be supportive of Kamala Harris. Too many people are on the sidelines. The former president hit numbers on a slew of issues, from the economy to immigration to her record as a prosecutor. His latest attacks on his opponent, including claiming she had a low IQ. Oh, hell, man, you got a low IQ. Please. After he vowed to unleash hell on Harris at the rally in a post online Friday. Well, she's waiting for you. This is what she's waiting for. At this time tomorrow, crooked Kamala's worst nightmare come true, Trump wrote Friday on Truth Social. Oh, now it's crooked Kamala, not crooked Joe anymore. Not lying Trump. Can't be lying Trump, because he says he's a Christian. I don't believe a word of it. And all you dumb evangelicals, especially you white, racist, bigoted evangelicals, you worked to put him in the White House the first time, and you are behind the scenes doing the same thing again. And you think that we're not paying attention. We're paying attention. We are acutely aware of everything that you southern white racist evangelicals are doing. I don't even know why black people continue to give money to these preachers, because they sure enough don't care anything about us. And we're not on their boards of directors. We don't have an integral part in their churches and ministries. It's nothing but a family business, that's all. Hours before the rally Saturday, Trump backed out of a September 10 debate with Harris on ABC News. Instead, he proposed a September 4th debate on Fox News. Hell no. Harris is not going to come to Fox News, where all his cronies are. He always wants people to do what he wants them to do. She's not coming to Fox News. The answer is no. Harris, who was officially nominated Friday to top the Democratic ticket in November, said she is sticking with the ABC debate originally planned to be between Trump and President Biden. That's the bottom line. She doesn't have to do what you want her to do. For what? Because Harris is going to unleash hell on Trump and his entire campaign. You all haven't seen anything yet. She's not a pushover. She's not a weakling. She's not a coward. She isn't going to back down. And after a while, her surrogates are going to come and they're going to help her. They're going to travel around the country, just like he has people who are his surrogates speaking on his behalf. Her surrogates are going to speak up on her behalf too. From Barack Obama to Michelle Obama, Hillary Clinton, former President Clinton, President Jimmy Carter's already stated he has endorsed her and he's voting for her. This is a losing campaign. And a lot of his own people are tired of the vitriol. They're tired of the same verbiage over and over and over again. That's almost like an artist. They only have one song that they sing. You don't want to just pay good money to go hear an artist just sing one particular song. You got to come out with something different and something new. So him and J.D. Vance, he picked the wrong person. It's not a winning team. I don't care what folks say. Is it going to be tough? Yes. Is it going to be hard? Yes. Will she win? She's going to win the presidency. That's the bottom line. Of course, they'll say they stole, I was robbed, they stole the election, the same stuff, status quo garbage that they keep saying all across the country. And it is imperative that the Democrats unite. It is imperative for the Democrats to have an awesome convention and stand firm and stand tall and come out of that convention unified. Don't slow down, don't backtrack. And I'm going to say this in closing. When you come up against your enemies, all this nonsense about turning the other cheek, in politics, there is no turning the other cheek. There is no shaking your enemy's hand. When he debated Hillary Clinton, he totally disrespected her on stage. Totally. No, there will be no turning the other cheek. There is no love for the enemy. You fight fire with fire, brick for brick, stone for stone. That's how it goes. It's politics. It's not for the weak. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the cowardly. And if Kamala Harris did not believe deep down the inside of her heart, she would have not been endorsed by President Biden to pick up the baton and finish the job. The problem is, the Republicans came out of the convention thinking they had it all together. They were ready to attack Biden, his age, but notice they're not talking about Trump's age. Why? We're going to talk about it. He's 79 years old. They kept talking about Biden. We're going to keep talking about him. Kamala Harris for the win. She's qualified. She's ready. She can lead this nation. And she can do the job and do it effectively and convincingly. Other nations, from Britain to Ghana, they've had women leaders. Even Germany reformed itself to distance itself from Adolf Hitler and the hideous crimes that he committed and the atrocities against the Jewish people. Hitler was nothing to be admired, nothing admirable about him whatsoever. And when you have a Republican Party that embraces Nazism, embraces racism, embraces bigotry, embraces hate, and welcomes it, and you unite behind that type of candidate, what does that say? Marjorie Taylor Greene, we already know she's a bigot and a racist. She has a big mouth, and she thinks that she can't be defeated. The day will come when she'll be defeated as well. Fire with fire. Kamala Harris, believe this, baby, for the win. Never surrender. Never quit.